Welcome to Kalus's Gaming Table. I am Kalus. I'm continuing my stroll through Technical Readout 3025. When FASA created battle droids, later rebranded Battletech, they created a wide variety of units. Mechs of all shapes and sizes. Mechs for all occasions. One of the critical units in any military force are scouting units. These can sneak behind enemy lines, keep eyes on the OPFOR, and strike at less defended targets. That brings us to General Mechanics project for the Terran Hegemony, the WSP Wasp. The WSP-1 was produced by General Mechanics as an innovative recon mech in 2464. The Wasp had the distinction of being the first battle mech with jump jets. That, plus a single medium laser, allowed the WSP-1 to get into place and destroy things. Granted, there were some issues with the jump jets that took almost a decade to work out, but it was still the first mech with jump jets. Once those kinks were knocked out, and a few other smaller changes, the WSP-1A went into mass production in 2471. A light mech, coming in at 20 tons, WSP-1A Wasp, was not designed to go toe-to-toe with anything heavier than itself, which meant just about everything. The WSP-1A would skulk around the back 40, gathering intel, providing targeting telemetry, and strike at vulnerable targets of opportunity. The jump jets allowed it to hop around the battlefield, hide behind cover, and generally be a nuisance. The WSP-1A was budget-friendly, coming in at around 1.65 million C-Bells, or 384 battle value. You could get a lot of them, but the WSP was a light recon mech and needs to be treated as such. The WSP-1A was armed with a single medium laser and an SRM-2. The SRM-2 was located in its left leg, meaning that if it did fire the missiles, it could not kick that turn. Its weapons range was limited, and with only 3 tons of armor, it meant that it wouldn't take much to damage or cripple a Wasp, but then again, it's a recon mech. 10 heat sinks meant that it could fire all of its weapons and remain cool, only having to worry about heat if it jumped its max distance and fired everything for multiple turns. Even then, it would take a while before heat would become an issue. With a movement profile of 696, the Wasp didn't have a particularly fast running game, but the jump jets gave it an edge, allowing it to leap out of the thick of things. Once the Wasp was released, the Great Houses made changes to it based on different logistic chains and supply availability. The Federated Suns released the WSP-1D in 2823 during the First Succession War. It added 2 small lasers into the left torso and replaced the SRM-2 in the leg with a flamer. The WSP-1K was produced by the Draconis Combine. The medium laser stayed, but the SRM-2 was removed. In the left torso, a single machine gun and 1 ton of ammo was added. This also allowed it to take an additional 1/2 ton of armor, giving it a little bit more protection. In true Capellan Confederation fashion, the WSP-1L dropped the medium laser and the SRM-2, replacing them with a single SRM-4 and 1 ton of reloads. Sure, it might be okay at crit seeking, but once you ran out of ammo, you aren't doing much more. Wolf's Dragoons even had their own variant, the WSP-1W. It dropped the medium laser and SRM launcher, instead favoring 6 small lasers, 2 in the right arm, 2 in the right torso, and 2 in the left torso. The small lasers meant that it had to get up close and personal to do much damage. As Lost Tech was reintroduced to the Inner Sphere, the WSP got some new refits. The WSP-1S was developed by the Federated Commonwealth in 3049. The medium laser was upgraded to a medium pulse laser. In the right torso there were 2 small lasers, and in the left torso a flamer. In addition to all of this, the internal structure was replaced with endosteel, and the armor upgraded to 3.5 tons of ferrofibrous. The Word of Blake released the WSP-3L. The WSP-3L incorporated stealth armor and endosteel to help with sneaking around the battlefield. The medium laser was swapped for an ER medium laser, and a rocket launcher 10 was added. ECM was added to help disrupt C3 networks and break Artemis. The Wasp was one of the original units dating back to battle droids. The Wasp is based off the Macross/Robotech Veritech VF-1S. As such, the WSP has a land air mech variant. This is again based off the old Macross design of transforming fighters. So the WSP-1A has 3 modes: Battle Mech mode, Air Mech mode, and Aerospace Fighter mode. This is also why the old model looks like it has a fighter for a torso. After the big lawsuit with Harmony Gold and Playmates, the Wasp was thrown into the unseen pile and shuffled away. A few years later, FanPro reintroduced the Unseen with Project Phoenix. This was the first major attempt to redesign the Unseen mechs to differentiate them enough from the original art to avoid future litigation. Project Phoenix WSP Wasp reminds me more of an ant than a wasp, but I don't dislike the design. I much prefer the CGL redesign. It's truly different from the original and the Project Phoenix designs. How can I tell the Wasp from other light mechs in the same category? I know it's not a W, but my brain sees the antenna on the Wasp, and while it kind of looks like a V, my brain fills it in as a W. W for Wasp! I mean, not to be confused with, say V for Valkyrie, but what can I say? My brain is weird. I'll be honest, I rarely use the Wasp due to its limited weapons and armor, but at 384 battle value, you can easily fit this into almost any force. It has a very specific purpose, scouting and recon, but most games I play are just 1v1 brawls, not anything that's scenario-based. If we start playing more scenario-based games, where having something like the Wasp would be beneficial, I'll probably start using it more. It might also get some more love in Alpha Strike, where you can field more units than just a traditional lance. The Wasp is a recon mech that doesn't ever really get out of that role. Even with all of the variants produced, it's a short-range mech designed to work behind enemy lines. It might not be the fastest light mech, but the jump jets help it stand out against other lights, such as the Locust. It's not a jack of all trades, so play to its strengths, limit its weaknesses, and if all else fails, jump away. I had a lot of fun researching and making this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment below. That helps with the YouTube algorithm and gets my videos in front of more viewers. I appreciate it. Do you like the Wasp? Have you fielded the Wasp? What are your favorite variants? Do you have any stories about the Wasp surprising you or the Op4? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.